Welcome back. Today we are looking at one of the bleakest, most chaotic stretches in the history of the divided kingdom. If you thought previous kings had moral gray areas, what we're about to discuss is pitch black. We're talking about a king sacrificing his own children, a geopolitical nightmare involving Assyria, and, believe it or not, lions hunting people in the streets.
It really is a truth is stranger than fiction moment. We're covering the reign of Ahaz in Judah and the final, devastating collapse of the northern kingdom of Israel. It's a story about what happens when leadership completely abandons its moral compass in favor of political survival.
Let's start with Ahaz. He takes the throne in Jerusalem at 20 years old, and the text immediately sets him apart from his ancestor David. But not in a good way, right?
Not at all. Usually you get a king who does okay but leaves the high places. Ahaz actively embraces the worst practices of the surrounding nations. The text describes him burning incense in the valley of Hinnom and, horrifyingly, burning his distinct children in the fire as sacrifices. This wasn't just tolerance of idolatry, it was enthusiastic participation.
That's a terrifying image. A king willing to destroy his own lineage for power or favor with pagan gods. But did it work? Did these gods protect him?
Exactly the opposite. His reign was a military disaster. You have Syria and the northern kingdom of Israel teaming up to crush him. The casualty numbers are staggering. 120,000 valiant men of Judah killed in one day.
One day? That's a massacre.
It was. And there's this fascinating, almost surreal moment right after the battle. The northern army drags 200,000 women and children from Judah back to Samaria as slaves. But a prophet named Oded steps out to meet the victors. He basically tells them, look, you only won because God is angry with Judah, but don't get arrogant. You have plenty of sins of your own. If you keep these captives, God's wrath will fall on you too.
That's a rare moment of conscience in the north. Did they listen?
Surprisingly, yes. The leaders actually fed the captives, clothed them, using the plunder they had just taken, and escorted them back to Jericho. It's this brief glimmer of humanity amidst total brutality. But Ahaz, he doesn't learn a thing. Instead of turning back to God, he looks at his enemies and thinks, well, the gods of Syria helped them, so I'll worship those gods instead.
It's that tragic logic of, if you can't beat them, join them.
Precisely, and when that fails, he makes his most fatal mistake. He reaches out to Tiglath-Pileser, the king of Assyria. He takes gold from the temple and sends it as a bribe, saying, I am your servant and your son, save me.
He's essentially selling Judah's sovereignty.
And its spiritual identity. When Ahaz visits the Assyrian king in Damascus, he sees a pagan altar he likes. He sends the blueprints back to Jerusalem and orders the high priest to build a replica in the Lord's temple. He literally pushes God's bronze altar aside to make room for this foreign design. He shut the doors of the temple and set up altars on every street corner. He was trying to engineer his own salvation through politics and syncretism.
Which brings us to the northern kingdom, Israel. While Ahaz is dismantling the faith in the south, things are finally falling apart in the north, aren't they?
Yes, we're in 2 Kings 17 now. Hoshea is the king in Samaria. He tries to play a double game, paying tribute to Assyria while secretly conspiring with Egypt. The Assyrian king finds out, throws Hoshea in prison, and lays siege to Samaria for 3 years.
And this is the end of the line for the 10 tribes.
The absolute end. The Assyrians capture Samaria and deport the Israelites. They scatter them across the Assyrian Empire, in Hala, Gozan, the cities of the Medes. The narrator pauses here to give us a massive theological eulogy. He explains that this wasn't just bad luck, it was because they had secretly and openly rejected God, worshipped idols, and ignored every prophet sent to warn them.
So the land is empty?
Not for long. This is standard Assyrian policy, shuffle the deck. They move Israelites out and move people from Babylon, Cutha, and Hamath in. But here is where the lions come in.
Right, I mentioned lions earlier. What happened there?
The new settlers didn't know the God of the land, so to speak. The text says God sent lions among them, and people were getting killed. They actually complained to the king of Assyria, saying, we don't know the rules of the local God here, and he's killing us with lions.
That is bizarre. It sounds like they viewed God as just a territorial spirit to be appeased.
That's exactly how they saw it. So the king of Assyria sends back one of the exiled Israelite priests to teach them. But the result isn't true conversion. It's a mix and match religion. They feared the Lord because of the lions, but they continued serving their own gods. You had people worshiping Yahweh alongside idols like Succoth-Benoth and Nergal.
It seems like the ultimate cautionary tale about hedging your bets. You have Ahaz trying to buy safety with Assyrian altars, and these new Samaritans trying to buy safety by adding Yahweh to their pantheon.
It really is. Both stories highlight the same failure, the refusal to trust exclusively in God. They wanted the benefits of protection without the commitment of a covenant. They wanted a god they could manage, use, or integrate into their politics, rather than a god they had to obey.
And in the end, it led to ruin. Ahaz left a legacy of destruction, and the northern kingdom was erased from the map, leaving behind a confused, syncretistic population.
It's a heavy reminder that you can't secure your future by compromising your foundation. When the pressure mounted, they compromised everything, and they lost everything.
A sobering thought to end on. It makes you wonder where we try to build altars for safety today instead of trusting what's true. Thanks for breaking this down with me.
My pleasure. It's a tough history, but one we need to hear. If you have been blessed by this, please like, subscribe, and share this joy with others. God bless.